Now, if you wanted to take out an army, you take out the commander. If you wanted to destroy the morale of a nation or a country, you take out the king, the queen, or the president. If you wanted to destroy a church, you take out the pastor. And if you want to cripple a family, you take out the leader. That's our topic tonight. Leadership within the home. It gets a little sticky when we start to say some of these words like submission and following and loving and sacrifice. It gets a little sticky, but my prayer tonight is that as we navigate through this together, we'd leave here and see the absolute beauty that God has created of leadership within the family and in particularly within the marriage. Now, last week we talked about love and respect. I want to remind you a couple things. We said that men tend to want to be respected. Ladies tend to want to be loved. Of course, we all want both. But in conflict, that tends to arise. There's probably a few here that go, that's not for us, and that's okay, because not every person falls into the categories of how we break down. But for most of us, we saw that to be true. We also now, because we've understood loving and respecting each other and making sure we understand that we care and nurture each other, now we're ready to look at how God has designed leadership within marriage. So we use this phrase from our vows and put it up on the screen. Husbands may have said something like this: I promise to lead you, to love you, and to protect you. And then the wife might have responded in that vow time on their wedding day, I promise to follow and respect you. And maybe some of the ladies, when you said that, you were smiling, maybe you were crying, you had all the people watching, but deep down inside you were like, well, I will follow you as long as you're not dumb. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Not dumb, but you know what I'm saying. Now here's what I want to point out first. Galatians 3:28 says this: there is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither slave nor free. Here's the key. There is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ. Why is that important? Because in that moment, what they are saying, what God is saying to us is, listen, yes, you are all here. Yes, you are all different. Yes, you are all unique. But in my economy, in my world, God's speaking, no one is better than the other. The Jews aren't better than the Greeks. The slaves aren't better than the free, biblical speaking here. And men aren't better than women. Sorry. Ladies, you are not better than men. In God's eyes, we are equal. Now, we have to start there so that we can build off of that. Because some people have the view of, they think, oh, God sees marriage as men are better than women. And that is not true at all. In fact, that is far from the truth. Because God sees us as equal. So now that we have a foundation, we can look at the next step, and that is leadership within the marriage. Now, when I say leadership roles, when I say roles in marriage, I'm not talking about who cooks, who cleans, who works, who stays home. All of those things are different topics for a different day. That's irrelevant from this point. We're focusing on leadership. What does it look like for a man? What does it look like for a woman? Here's our verse. Are you ready? Colossians 3:18. Wives, relax. Wives, relax. I can feel tension over here. Wives, submit to your husbands as is fitting in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. Now, some of you are like, I'm leaving. I don't know how I'm going to leave because I'm stuck in the front here. I have no idea how we are out of here. This is crazy. This is what I'm talking about. Y'all were good at date night, and all of a sudden you got to start bringing all this craziness and all this non-relatable stuff from back in whatever century. No. Listen, this is a beautiful thing. Why does God say this? Because he understands that every family needs a leader. Every company needs a leader. Just go through the list. At the end of the day, there always has to be someone that's leading so that things can move forward. Have you ever seen something where two people are trying to lead equally? It gets a little tricky, doesn't it? I remember we did a student camp here at Beach Retreat, and I had the privilege of leading a condo, and I had the high school Katy High School football state championship boys in my condo. I won't tell you what year because they may have been your kids. But I had these boys in my condo, and so I had the great privilege of navigating their life and changing their world in 5 days. What an incredible privilege. And so I was loving on these guys, and they said, there is a flag football tournament. And I said, great, we're going to win it. Great, we're going down now. Have fun. And I let them go. The end of the afternoon came. And in walked my boys, looking like they have been defeated in life. I mean, heads hanging to the ground, frustrated, angry. May have been your boys, I don't know. They were angry, they were throwing. I mean, I had to calm the room down. And I said, guys, what happened? They said, we lost. I said, okay, it happens. You weren't undefeated. I don't think they were that defeated. You weren't undefeated, but you still won the state championship. Like, it's okay. You're going to lose. And they said, you don't understand. We're seniors. Great. We lost a freshman. I got to be honest, I did the same thing. Oh my God. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, tough time. We should pray, read a proverb. This is not good. And I kid you not, they lost in the 5-football tournament to a bunch of freshmen. Do you know why? Yes, they didn't have their coach. They didn't have their coach. You had some of the best athletes. Many of them went to play college ball. But without a leader, they were cocky. They wanted to be the hero. Oh, no, we're going to run my play. No, we're going to run my play. We're going to run my play. We'll just see what happens. Throw it up. Without a leader, they fell apart. Listen, God knew this in family. God understood this. And so he created this structure for you and I that we could navigate, that we could have some direction. So first he says, wives, submit to your husbands. What does this mean? This does not mean, ladies, that you're going to submit to the dictatorship of your husband in marriage. Do whatever he says, whenever he says, however he says it, because he said it. That is not at all. In fact, if that's happening, we need to talk. The picture is you come under the umbrella of protection and leadership of your husband. Man, that he's going to protect you. He's going to take care of you. He's going to put your needs and desires first. He's going to lead you into the right way. That's the beauty of this. And so God says, wives, I want you to come under the umbrella of leadership and protection of your husband. Ladies, doesn't that feel good? Now, husbands, love your wives. And you go, oh, I can love my wife, write her a little love letter. No. The word love here, the root word that comes from this is the word agape. It's not agape, that's what you hear all the time. It's agape. And it's the picture of a sacrificial, unconditional love. Let me read to you one of the definitions. A sacrificial love that voluntarily suffers inconvenience, discomfort, and even death. Congratulations, gentlemen. For the benefit of another without expecting anything in return. Now that's what we should be saying at the altar. When I say I love you, or that I am going to love you, it's this picture. So we hear this at first and we go, wives got to submit to their husband, and husbands just have to love your wives? They just got to write a love note? No. You're going to put your wife first and everything. In fact, the day you got married is the day that all of your desires became number 2. Because now it's about your wife first, in a physical standpoint, not spiritual. You're going to lead, you're going to take care of her, you're going to put her first. Her desires, her wants, you're going to take care of this, and then you're going to have kids. Good luck. You're in the last of the line, buddy. That's called true leadership, leading from behind. And so God says, yes, of course, ladies, I want you to come under the protection and leadership of your husband. But husbands, I want you to understand, this is a sacrificial love that she's coming under. That she knows you're going to do whatever it takes for her benefit and for her betterment. So then we get to this question. Wives, do you trust your husband? Don't nudge right now. Don't look right now. Do you trust your husband? Do you trust his decision making? Do you trust his leadership in the home? The honest truth is there's probably some of us here that deep down inside, you might say no. I hope that's not the case. Be honest, a big room. here's what I want to say to you. This is not the time to go, well, there you go, babe. I've been trying to tell you for 10 years. Now you're going to finally listen. I'm not trying to be funny, but apparently that's why I'm sorry. Listen, that's not how we do it. Because you know what you're going to do? You're going to deflate him. Why? Because he's going to see that as what? Woo, y'all are good. This table's good, actually. So ladies, here's what I want to encourage you to do. If that's you, you never say a word to him about it. But you begin tonight praying for him diligently. And when you have an opportunity to point out what he is doing well, I want to encourage you to do it. I remember hearing a story about students in school, and these were regular students. They weren't advanced in any way, and they were doing a study, and so they took 6 of these students, they placed them in a different room, and they told them that they are now in an AP class. Do you know what AP means? Like an advanced? I wasn't in it, so I don't actually know what it stands for, but whatever. They put these kids in this room, and they told them that they were now going to be in an advanced class. The curriculum didn't change, didn't get any harder, didn't get any easier. But do you know what happened? All of a sudden, all of those students began to perform better. Why? Because someone believed in them. Someone was building them up, giving them hope and encouragement, and they were rising to the challenge. And so, ladies, I want to encourage you. Your husband may take time, but he will rise to the challenge. But we've got to be encouragers. Now, gentlemen, ladies, one more thing. You are so valuable in all things, but in particular in decision making. The truth is, if I could say this without getting in trouble, ladies are smarter than men. Now, I can't say that, so I won't say that. But ideally, ladies, what happens as people look at the scripture, they begin to think, oh, well, then, okay, I'm going to just back away. Have fun, figure it out. God brought you two together. I am smarter because of my wife. Because what she brings to the table, I lack. Knowledge, wisdom, experience, discernment given to her by God. I need my wife and the decision-making process. Gentlemen, you need your wife, and ladies, we need you. But at the end of the day, what you will do, and she's mastered this. I think she thinks it's funny. She comes up in the decision process and says, hey, here's what I'm thinking. We should do this, this. Here's why. But that's all you, buddy. Have fun. And if you made the wrong decision, deal with him. So it's like she just says it and ducks away, right? Deal with the Lord. Ladies, that's the picture, though. Man, you're going to bring that wisdom, but then you say, you know what, but babe, listen, at the end of the day, I trust you. So whatever you feel like is best for our family, there's my thoughts. I hope they're helpful, but I trust you. You tell us where to go, and we'll follow. Man, that's where we want to get. And some of us ladies are like, we're not there yet. Trust me. We'll be like, over a cliff. Well, time is going to be on our side because we know now what we can do. Not that what will fix it, but we know what we can do. But the beauty of this is, man, that's what it should look like. So ladies, please don't miss this. How valuable you are. Man, what you bring to the table, it's amazing. In fact, our next little series, as we wrap up date night the last few weeks, we're going to look at the male and female brain. How they're different, how they balance each other. Oh, it's fascinating. Biology. It's going to be great. Anyways, back to this. But ladies, I want to remind you, the great burden is on your husband. All right? Guys, we'd love to say, oh, great. I'm in charge. She does whatever I say. Here's what I say to you. Yeah, you're in charge. And guess what? When you stand before the man upstairs, he's going to have a lot to talk to you about. See, we wear the burden of responsibility. Ladies, you have the best job. Hey, here's what I think. Good luck. May the Lord lead you and not over the cliff. Because he's going to protect me. I mean, when you think of it, it's actually a beautiful picture, and it's better for the ladies. You are welcome. It's the gentlemen that have to stand in on behalf of the entire family, wearing the weight of every decision and every move that we make. Good luck. We'll do this again in January. Sign up now. I mean, I'm just kidding. That wasn't a healthy plug. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, this is so contrary to what culture tells us God says about marriage. It's beautiful. Now, gentlemen, we can't leave without talking to you really quick. Are you trustworthy? Wives, keep your shoulders to yourself. Are you trustworthy? Should your wife trust you to make that decision for your family? I don't know. But if you're not sure, or if you know the answer is no, listen, I want to encourage you. Today's the day to start a new journey. Seeking the Lord. Because the truth is, your wife doesn't trust you, and neither does mine. She trusts the leadership of God in me and in you. And so if you're not following the Lord, every decision is at risk of being a wrong one. But you will watch your wife walk with confidence if she knows that her husband is following the Lord. Man, that's what it looks like. And guys, it's tough. Whew, it's a responsibility. We just said I do. We thought we were going to enjoy the honeymoon. We'll leave it at that. And then you realize this whole thing revolves around me. This whole thing is on my shoulders. But praise the Lord, we have someone that's gone before us, leading the way, and helps us to navigate even the most difficult of circumstances. So, gentlemen, I want to warn you. You may be present in your family or in your marriage, but I need you to hear me. A passive man is just as dangerous as a vacant one. A passive man is just as dangerous as a vacant one. You can be there in the physical, but if you are not integrated into your family and taking those steps forward to lead your family, I'm telling you, there's danger ahead if it's not already there. And you may not even realize it, but your wife may already be experiencing it. Tonight, you may have a tough conversation. But the reality is, this is how we make progress forward. God has created this beautiful picture. And we are foolish if we don't seek the wisdom of our wife, our spouse. We're foolish. 2 is better than 1 all the time. And God has given us this. So here's the picture. Here's what I want to leave you with. I know you're not supposed to do this, but whatever. Ladies, have you ever been walking into a building and it's pouring rain? Raise your hand. Okay. Have you ever had a guy, and maybe you haven't, but let's just play along here. Have you ever had a guy come up and he's walking and he sees you and it's pouring down rain and he goes, oh, hold on, here, let me help you in. Have you ever had that? Is anyone have raise your hand? Okay. For those of you that had that, were you offended that you came under the umbrella of a man? Did that bother you? Was that offensive? No. Why? It was raining. You were getting wet. You were in danger, you know what I'm saying? You're in danger from the raindrops and who knows what's in the sky. And when he came over, he put that umbrella of protection over you. And you walked in together. Guys, that's a beautiful picture of marriage. Husbands, you're the umbrella. You're to be open in that way all the time. It's a 24/7 job. The day we got married is the day we put our own desires behind us. Said, for the betterment of my family, for the betterment of my wife. I am the umbrella over her. I am protecting her. I'm not running ahead of her and leaving her behind in the rain. No. I'm walking with her together. She may say, let's go right. I may think we need to go right. She'll be like, well, you can go right if you want. That's fine. I trust you. And we'll go right. And sometimes we'll be right. That got confusing. Sometimes we'll be wrong. But the reality is we did it together. And we'll learn together. We'll grow together. But at the end of the day, husbands, your job is to protect your wife. And wives, isn't that beautiful? Oh, that's so much better than having to do whatever he says, whenever he says, just because he said it. I want to be, I don't, I'm a guy. But ladies, I hope that you want to be with a man like that loves you, protects you, and leads you. And gentlemen, I hope you want to do that. I don't mean, maybe this umbrella is not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Sorry, Dad. But the reality is being an umbrella is a beautiful thing. And it's a responsibility and a privilege that God's given to each and every one of us. So gentlemen, embrace it. Rise up to the challenge. Ladies, see the beauty in it. Try not to fight it. You're going to want to. That started all the way back in Genesis. You can study that on your own. There's going to be some tension there. But if you trust the Lord, And if your husband's following him, you'll be able to trust him without a doubt, because you're not trusting him. You're trusting the Lord in him. This is the picture of a leadership in the family. And it's actually a beautiful thing when we understand how God intended for it to be.